Welcome to the Revive YouTube channel. My name is Harsha and I am going to be your guide. I'm so happy to be here and I'm very grateful that you are tuning in to this video with me. If you haven't already, I would love for you to click the subscribe button so that you can stay in the loop with these videos that are being released. As you know, we are going on a little journey that starts at a foundation level and will go deeper and deeper into the practice of breath work. And I would love for you to be with me step by step on this journey, getting a good sense of the foundation work that we're covering right now, so that when we go into the deeper aspects of this work, you will have a sense of empowerment of yourself as you do that. For today's video, we're gonna talk about pain. What it is, why it's important to embrace and accept it, and also how to move through it. I'll share with you literally the practice that I used when I was in labor, giving birth to my child naturally without pain medication. Now that is the deep end of this experience. But if I could use these very same practices that I'm going to share with you to do that, I know without a doubt that you can utilize these practices in your life on a day-to-day micro level, really transform your relationship to pain. And especially when we move into deeper practices of breath work, as you experience discomfort and pain showing up, you will feel empowered in how to move through that. Now, when it comes to what pain is and why it's important to embrace it, I want you to think of an analogy of a hose with water running through it, okay? The same way our bodies, our human, is made up of several channels of energy, and there's energy moving through it. When it comes to pain, there's two types of pain that I see. There's conscious pain, like growing pains, and then there's unconscious pain. Growing pains are like doing breath work or going to the gym to work out or being in a relationship that's really challenging you to be able to hold emotions at a greater capacity. These are the conscious ways of really bringing pain into your life in a way to have the outcome be your growth. The goal, I would say, for us is to really be able to lean into and see pain as a form of growth in every way. But there's also the unconscious pain that we experience in our life, which tends to be pains from the past, emotions that we have suppressed, that we haven't let ourselves feel, which get buried deeply within us, or our bodies are not getting used to their full capacity because we are sitting most of the time, not moving. And so as we want to move, as energy starts to want to move through us, it can't. When you think of the analogy of the hose, the unconscious pain is like there's a kink in it, there's a pressure on it, or there's some kind of blockage in that hose that isn't allowing that water to flow fully through it. That's essentially the unconscious pain in that analogy. If you were to take that same analogy and apply it to conscious growing pains, think of it like we are taking that hose and we are really dialing up the amount of water that's moving through it. And so it's creating an internal pressure. The outcome is that hose is having to grow and stretch beyond its current capacity. That's conscious growing pains that we experience as human beings. There's no right and wrong here, and why I love breathwork is it's kind of a bridge between both. It's a conscious way of stretching and opening ourselves to allow more energy to flow through the channels that are already open and clear, but also through breathwork, we actually come face to face with the channels of energy that may be blocked or suppressed in some way. And so we can do the work of becoming aware and making our unconscious pain conscious and using them as a catalyst for our growth and our expansion. Why we want pain to be embraced is that on the other side of it, when we can move through pain, whether it's clearing the energy channels or expanding the energy channels and strengthening them, is that we actually become more available to our experience of life in every level. And when we do a practice like breath work, what tends to happen is we're usually very good at our bodies, I should say, has an intelligence that's really good at keeping us from our pain. So we have our awareness usually on an external basis, very outward in our life, that keeps us distracted from the pain that's going on the inside. So as we do breath work, as we bring our awareness away from the outside into the inside, we start to become aware, like, whoa, there's actually a lot of discomfort and even pain sitting here that I didn't know about. I want you to know that if that happens for you, especially after you've done the first practice that we did in the last video, if you're doing it right, you probably felt some of that, and that it's a good thing. You're in the right place right now, because this is why we use the practice I'm going to show you next to move through that and alchemize that pain and experience the pleasure, expansion, and potential of empowerment that's available on the other side. Whether you're happy or sad, whether good things are happening in your life or bad things are happening in your life, there's a sense of fulfillment that you get to experience, which is on the other side of pain. Lastly, when pain shows up in breathwork, it breaks my heart that people stop doing breathwork because of the pain that they experience. With this information and with this practice I'm going to share with you, if you can bring that into your next full breathwork journey, you'll know that the pain is actually a beautiful part of the healing process that's necessary. And in fact, you'll want to welcome it rather than push it away. And you'll want to move into more breathwork experiences knowing that these pain points are portals to your greatest potential. If you're feeling pain on a physical level, so we're getting into the practice now. How do we move through pain? If the pain is happening at a physical level, the best thing you can do is move your body. Let your body move in all sorts of ways. Rotating, shaking, undulating, stretching, all the things that your body can do on a physical level, let that happen. Especially while doing breath work. Because as you're doing breath work, you're really bringing more energy, pumping more energy, life force through you. And as a result, more energy wants to move through your body. And if your body's just been used to just sitting still and not moving, greatest gift you can give yourself is intentionally moving your body, physically opening the channels of energy to move through you. And as a result, relieving the physical pain that you're feeling on the emotional level. And that's what we're actually going to practice now. The pain that you're feeling or even discomfort that you're feeling is actually emotionally linked. Say, for example, you know that there's something that you're feeling and you don't know, it's bubbling up and you can't really get it out, or that you're just like a open tap and the emotions are overwhelming you. This practice will help you to get into alignment and tone up yourself from the inside out and really strengthen your capacity and expand your capacity to be with that emotional pain. What it is vocal toning, or call it tuning breaths, where as you exhale, you let out a sound. At the very bare minimum, because a lot of us are blocked here. Our voices are blocked. We're not in expression fully from an empowered place of our pain and our discomforts, mainly because we're really blocked, or we're over talking about it without really feeling it. And so that creates its own kind of blockage. When we do vocal toning, think of it like the ultimate massage to your energy body from the inside out, where channels may be tightened and constricting the energy flow. They get to be loosened and relaxed so that energy can start to flow through them. And channels that maybe have no structure and there's no containment or strength to hold, there is a strengthening of it so that the energy that's flowing has direction, purpose, and potency as it moves through you, rather than like leaking out, so to speak. What vocal toning or tuning breaths looks and sound like is humming or ahhing on your exhales. So or as an example of tuning breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 10 breaths together and we're going to hum or ah on every exhale. If it's very, very uncomfortable for you, at the very least, just let out a sigh with a sound where you can hear your exhale, like ah. At the very least, to start off. Just know that as we're doing this, what we're doing is we are facilitating movement of energy in the form of emotion. And that if you start to feel certain emotions or even the need to pull back and stop because it's so uncomfortable for you, know that's perfect. That lean into that. Allow it to happen. And that what's happening is you are unblocking where there's blockages to energy moving, or you're strengthening where you can actually hold more energy that you haven't yet fully experienced what that's like for you. All right. You'll know you're doing it right because you will feel the sound vibration coming from your body. Your throat won't feel so tight, and you'll actually feel it from the neck down. Okay. This is not about sounding good. It's just about sounding and hearing yourself and letting energy out in the form of your voice. This explanation has been good enough for you to want to try it by this point. Then buckle up. Make sure you're somewhere obviously that you can make sounds and not feel like holding back, and that there's no distractions around you. So if you need to pause and come back, do that. And if you're already ready, then let's begin. 10 breaths with an exhale and a sound. Let's go. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. Last one. Beautiful work. You made it. You may have started to feel something shifting. You probably feel somewhat different now than you did when you started the 10 breaths, or you've become aware of something within yourself now that you weren't aware of at the start of the 10 breaths. I want you to know that this is just the beginning, and that this practice can go so much deeper. And I invite you to take yourself deeper with your breath, your movement of your body, and the sounds that you're making, so that you can allow this energy to move freely through your energy channels, so that we can increase our capacity to move more pain consciously as a catalyst for our growth and expansion. We can become more available to pleasure and enjoyment no matter what's going on in our life, and no matter what part of the spectrum of life we're experiencing. As I mentioned before, this was a foundational part of my being able to birth naturally without really a fear of the pain. Of course, there's always the uncertainty of the whole process, and it was a lot more than just humming and ahhing, I'll tell you that much. It goes way deeper than that. But honestly, this was the starting point for me to be able to even do that, because my whole relationship to pain had already been transformed enough, and my connection and trust with my body and the channels of my energy I had a handle of thanks to this practice. So if you're a woman watching this and you know that motherhood is a journey you're on, or if there's some healing involved from your postpartum experience, please reach out to me. It would be an honor to work with you on a deeper level and to support you in becoming empowered in your journey of motherhood. If you are not on the journey of motherhood, or if you're not a woman and you are also seeing the benefit of this practice of now knowing how to transmute pain and how to breathe properly, and you're ready to dive into a consistent practice of breathwork with a community that meets online every week and from all over the world, join us at the Revive Breathwork community. My husband and I together, we co-facilitate breathwork practices there, essentially as a practice of this, for you to get in touch with deeper aspects of yourself, for you to open up channels, and for you to attune and refine yourself so that your experience of life can be limitless. If you're still at the beginning stages, you're not ready to go deeper, I have a couple of free resources that you can access by clicking the links below this video, where you can literally take the practice we started in the first video as well as what we do here, and you can apply it. It's an guided audio breathwork of very simple, gentle breathing practices, but it's the perfect amount for you to be able to sit with this just enough that you can get the handle of going deeper and deeper with yourself on your own time. One last thing I'm going to share, because it feels very important to share this. Although physical pain and emotional pain are distinct from one another, they are inherently very connected in the way that our physical pains they can be manifestations of deeply suppressed emotional pain. So the emotions hit a little bit deeper. And so if you're someone who's having recurring chronic pains, or you maybe have an injury that you faced in your life that either you've had before, very similar ones, and it's kind of a similar type of injury, or maybe even if it's never happened before, it can often be the super intelligence of the body that can no longer suppress that emotional pain anymore, and it needs you to slow down and stop your life to be able to sit with that. But of course, there's so many pain management external substances that are provided to us these days that really sitting with the core of the emotion doesn't really get looked at. And so if you are any of these people where injuries or chronic pain is something you're dealing with, there may be an emotional link deeper down that needs to be looked at. And if you're ready to go into that deeper realm, join us, come in and work at a deeper level with me, because you deserve a life with free, clear, open channels of energy that allow you to become available to your limitless potential and full pleasure and enjoyment of life. That's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.